Good evening and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. It's a pleasure to have you on board with us again. Once again, thank you so very much. We appreciate your support. We can see the numbers are growing on our subscription numbers on YouTube, our preferred platform. Thank you so very much for that continued support. Without your support, we couldn't really be getting as much information out there to reach many other people. As you all know, on this platform, our focus is, of course, enlightening our people, raising their awareness about our rights as citizens, sovereignty in particular. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. And the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. These are the tenets that we hold dear on this platform, that we're encouraging our people to know, particularly in our local languages. We're once again asking the federal government to translate all these the 1999 constitution into all our local languages, something between 250 to 350 languages, something thereabouts. We don't have the exact numbers, but I think there's, however many, they need to be translated into those languages. That will aid the participation of our people in our governance and be able to hold our governance to account. That is the missing piece of the jigsaw. So please support us in this struggle. Help us. We are trying to encourage the government. Either we print the documents ourselves or the government actually prints it, and there is enough funds to be able to do this, because we need the participation of our people in the process. Our people, because it is not in our local languages, they have been excluded from the process. To vote at elections over something you don't understand is meaningless. You actually need to understand in your local languages. So please continue to help us. Subscribe on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power and reach more people. How do you do that? You subscribe this way. Hit subscription button, hit the thumbs up button, and of course, give us the thumbs up. Every time you see any of our videos on this platform, please endeavor to give us a thumbs up. That will help the algorithm to reach more people. We really, truly need your support. What we are trying to do now is this. We are clear. We need to go for Yoruba Nation. We are clear on that. We are not moving from that. But to get to Yoruba Nation, we need you to begin to participate in your governance, because it is through participating in your governance and being able to hold them to account, you will see the flaws that we have all too often seen, and you will come to the same conclusion, such as we have done, that the only way out is a referendum. As we speak right now in Nigeria, to put it, just to touch on something. As we speak right now, Nigeria is having to rely on processed oil, and the oil that not South Korea. A guide in South Korea confirmed that they buy our crude oil from Nigeria, take our oil to the other side of the world, process it, and then bring it back and sell it to us. And then we buy those processed oil at high prices. And the most important thing for a government to do is to ensure that the price of that oil is at very, very cheap, low prices for the citizens. After all, they are the sovereigns, as I stated at the beginning of this broadcast. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers. So for that reason, for as long as the government is making excuses and refusing to fix the refineries, the 4 refineries, ASAP, it leaves us with only one conclusion. Nigeria will never work. There's never going to be a change. I hate to say this. Unless we see a clear action, immediate action, we're talking 4 weeks, whereby they fix those refineries to bring down the price of fuel. Everything that's been done now is beginning to look like lip service, in my opinion. Take it or leave it. It's not about abusing. I'm talking about realities. And that's why we're talking about the need for our people to begin to participate in the process. Our people need to drive this using the powers of sovereignty. And that's why we need the constitution to be in our local languages. So that's what we're really trying to do. Now, let us now touch on today's main topic, of course, which is, of course, today was the day when the deadline, they had to have given the documents to Atiku. President Tinubu's team had to have provided the educational documents of the president to Atiku. Let us see what transpired. Please share, hit the notification button, give us a thumbs up. You are watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Let's proceed.
His opponent, Atiku Abubakar, in line with an order of an American court. Atiku, the presidential candidate of the PDP in the 25th of February election, had requested the document to back his allegation of forgery of a CSU, the Chicago State University certificate, against the president. The allegation of forgery was one of those dismissed by Nigeria's Presidential Election Court in the suit Atiku filed to challenge the election of the president, Bola Tinubu, and his party, the APC. Despite the court's ruling, Atiku continued his case at the U.S. court, hoping to get official documents to back his claim and possibly include them in his appeal at Nigeria's Supreme Court. Well, he's gone to court to file that appeal, and there are several prayers that has made and positioning, which the lawyers of Mr. Atiku Abubakar says the judgment of the PEPT was a miscarriage of justice. The U.S. court on Saturday ordered the university to release the records within 48 hours. That has happened on Monday. That was presented to Mr. Atiku's lawyer. Loads of documents were connected to Mr. Tinubu's education at the institution, and copies of certificates were redacted with names issued to other persons about the same time the Nigerian president finished from the school in 1979. It also contained Mr. Tinubu's admission records and a letter dated 27th June 2022, confirming that he attended the university from August 1977 to June 1979, majoring in accounting. He said letter, the letter said that Mr. Tinubu was awarded Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with honors on the 22nd of June 1979. These are some of the copies as released by the school, as shown on your screen right now. And you probably will be able to see more of it as we go on our conversation. Mr. Kalu is a legal practitioner. He joins us tonight to give us a sense of Mr. Atiku's foray in the United States, his plea to the U.S. court, and what the implications might be for the Nigerian Supreme Court when that case comes before them. Thank you so much, Mr. Kalu.
Thank you, Mr. Sheldon.
I appreciate it. What do you think is Mr. Atiku's intention of going to the United States about Tinubu's records?
First and foremost, let's set the record straight that by the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, precisely section 137(1)J, that once you present a forged certificate to INEC, you are not qualified to run. That is the highest law we have in Nigeria. Okay. And after that, we now have the Electoral Act 2022 by section 134 of that act, that a contestant of an election can challenge the outcome of that election on several grounds. And one of the grounds is on qualification, which the 1999 Constitution has already provided that once you present a forged certificate to INEC, that is the electoral umpire, you're not qualified to run. And by the document submitted to INEC by Tinubu, which we have certified, Tinubu presented to INEC his purported Chicago State University certificate that was issued to him in 1979. It has generated a lot of controversy. Atiku Abubakar went to US and approached the US court for discoveries to find out whether the purported certificate is genuine or not, whether it was issued by the school or not.
So in the findings, has it been confirmed whether or not the president attended that school?
It has not been confirmed. It's
based on the records.
It's very clear. Even during the proceedings, the lawyer to the school was asked, please, could you confirm the authenticity of this document Tinubu presented to INEC? He said that the school could not authenticate their certificate. And yesterday, in compliance to the order of Judge Nancy, the school released Tinubu's academic credentials to Atiku's lawyers. And what we have are certificates that were issued by Chicago State University between June 1979 and December 1979. And in all the certificates released by the school, none complies, or none is, there is no similarity between what Tinubu submitted to INEC.
So let's get it clearly. From the records shown and the records available to Mr. Atiku's lawyers, you are saying that it is different from what the President Bola Tinubu presented to INEC.
That's it.
What are the differences? What are the discrepancies on the document presented by the President to INEC and the one that was presented by the school? Is it in terms of date?
Principally, is the signatories on those.
The officials of the school who signed those documents.
Yes. That's the principal issue. The certificate released by the school has different names from the one Tinubu submitted on the same date of June 22nd, 1979.
Does that tally with the argument in court that there was a loss of document and there was a reproduction of same?
Okay. Now, the names on Tinubu's certificates, it was found out that they were not even the employees of the university as at 1979.
Wow.
So, where did they now come to sign the certificate Tinubu is parading with?
Well, I mean, so if there was a loss of original document as at 1979 when he obtained it, and there is a position that that original was lost, and so we are going back to school to get another copy, wouldn't it be the person who is sitting there at the time?
As at the time, the certificate was even reissued to him, those names were not in the employ of the school. They were not.
What about the date of the said graduation? Is there any discrepancy in those dates?
Very well, very well.
What are the discrepancies?
The certificates the university released yesterday has names of the school administrators that signed those certificates. So, if the school signed a certificate in June 1979, and there is a purported one by Tinubu that it was also issued in June 1979, and the signatories are not the same, what will you make out of it? It is forgery. Because our court said, for you to determine which document is forged and which one is not forged, that you will not bring out the one that is believed to be original and the one that is purported to be forged. When you now look at the two documents, you'll be able to find out which one is genuine and which one is not genuine. From what the school released yesterday, there are discrepancies on the names of the school administrators that signed the one they released and the one Tinubu is purported to have obtained from the school.
Do you also discover or notice any sort of difference in terms of the font of the letters or the form of the certificate as presented by the president and the one that has been released, if you make a comparison?
Very, very well.
What did you discover?
The difference is very clear. The fonts are different. The signatures are different. The names are different.
What about the dates? You said there are also difference in dates in the months of and the date of issuance.
The date of issuance, what they have, they released several certificates. Some bearing 22nd June 1979, some bearing some dates in April 1979, some bearing some dates in December 1979. But in all that, you will see that the names on those certificates they released are quite different from the names on Tinubu certificates.
So, in all of this, I'd like to ask you, what is the major input as a lawyer who understands issues of jurisdiction? What comes out to you as the meat all in the pursuit of Mr. Atiku Abubakar and his lawyers in the foray to the United States?
Mr. Shehu, our law is very clear. If you present a forged certificate with the electoral umpire, that is INEC, you are not qualified to run.
You quoted section 137J, which says a person shall not be qualified for election to the office of the president if he has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Yes, just wanted to just do something here. Beg your pardon. I'm trying to go to the the INEC laws. It says a person shall not be qualified for election of the office of president if, let's put in J. Is it J? J, yes. He has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. That's what it states. I'm just going by what they're saying on the screen. This is not a judgment either way. For me, again, I stand on one thing. Whoever you put in that place, the fundamental issue remains. The issue remains that constitution is not one we all signed up to. We need a referendum on that constitution. That's my stance. And nothing will work whoever you put in there because of the manner in which it's been imposed upon the citizens. We are sovereigns, but we are treated like slaves because of the way it was imposed on all of us. And we need to put a stop to that. So that's my take on it. But I'm just showing you what it says here. It says, so we're going to go and look at that first section again. A person shall not be qualified for the election to the president of, to the office of the president if, to the office of the president if, and then we go straight to J. He has presented a forged certificate to the National Electoral Commission. So just wanted to put that context in there so we could see it. But let's go ahead. Here we go.
137J. Use it, which says.
So let me just show you that again to make sure you could see what we're doing. 137.1J. So you can see it is 137. You can see that there. You can see that it is setting 137. Yeah, and it says the person shall not be qualified for election to the office of the president if, and then we go straight to J. The J states he has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. So that's what it states. Again, please, it's not about my feelings or sentiments. I'm just following what they're doing and provide evidence based on that. It's not, for me, my standpoint is on Yoruba Nation. We're just providing evidence. Whoever is in there now is in there, and I don't even think that's going to change anything. But that's just following what they're saying. So let's carry on.
Guys, a person shall not be qualified for election to the office of the president if he has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. That is a provision of that.
Yes.
So have you been able to establish that? Because if you say that the U.S. court, based on the order of the U.S. court, you and the document received from the CSU, you have been able to raise an allegations of forgery against the president. Does that validate the position in the Nigerian court?
It's clear. You know, the correct legal perspective is the documents Tinubu presented to INEC. Was it a document or was it a certificate issued by Chicago State University? And the answer is no. From what has been released.
From your own, what you saw, do you think the president finished from that school?
He did not. It's very clear now. It's very clear. Shehu, hold on.
Okay.
Shehu, hold on. The Tinubu alleged that he attended Chicago State University. So you don't jump into a tertiary institution. There is a procedure that takes you into a tertiary institution. The first one is your primary school education, then your secondary school education, and then your tertiary school education. Next, in 1999, Tinubu submitted to INEC that he attended one primary school in Lagos and attended a government college in Ibadan. The late legal icon, that is late Gani Fayomi, took him up on this issue and went to court. So, in 2022, when Tinubu submitted his INEC form, he did not say a word on the primary school he attended. He didn't say a word on the secondary school he attended. And government college, Ibadan, has come out repeatedly to deny that assertion by Tinubu that there is no such record in their school. And that is the truth. Today, on that same form of 1999, probably Nigerians have also forgotten that Tinubu also claimed that he attended University of Chicago. He attended University of Chicago. And today, nobody is making mention of that assertion by Tinubu, that he attended University of Chicago. Now, when you now lay all this information on the ground, it's very clear. The logic is very clear that a man who has lied of his primary school education, of his secondary school education, and even the document released yesterday on the Chicago State University application form, he even claimed that he attended Government College, Lagos, and graduated in 1970. The records speak for themselves.
What is the record?
The record is that as at 1970, which Tinubu claimed that he graduated from Government College, Lagos, that school had not been established. That school came into existence in 1974. So, as a lawyer, I already know that you can't place something on nothing and expect it to stand. If the basis upon which, as I'm saying, assuming without considering, that he even attended the Chicago State University, on that false premise, whatever he got goes to no issue.
All right, so let me ask you, as a lawyer, the tribunal, the Presidential Election Court, was the court of first instance.
That's true.
And the court of trial.
That's true.
So when you go to an appeal to the Supreme Court, can you reintroduce a new matter or a new fact to your case?
Very well, Shehu. I will cite two cases here where the Supreme Court held that at the appellate level, an appellant or a party in the matter can adduce new or fresh evidence. In the case of Ozodinma and Izunaso, reported in 2017, a 17 Nigerian Weekly Law Report, I think part 1275, the Supreme Court said you can bring application for leave to adduce new evidence.
But there are no trials at the Supreme Court.
Yes, I have not cited an authority for you. There is also Amechi and Anek, reported in 2008. I think part 1020.
So there's a possibility that the lawyers of Mr. Atiku would probably bring this up at the appeal.
It's not probably, they will.
Part of the prayers as filed at the Supreme Court on appeal is that Mr. Tinubu and his party, just a moment, I'm trying to look at where the PDP is saying that Mr. Tinubu, the president, is not qualified to run for office. I'll get that. So you are hoping, okay, so that the former vice president also prayed that the court to hold that Mr. Tinubu was not qualified to vie for Nigeria's president at the time he did on account of the U.S. for alleged drug trafficking. That prayer is not part of the prayers as presented on appeal. So this is going to be a fresh introduction, is it?
It is. And so the Supreme Court is not only a court of law, it's also a court of policy. In this matter, which has generated international concern, the issue will be, will the Supreme Court allow this evidence on grounds of technicality? Would they expunge it on grounds of technicality? Or would they allow it on grounds of national interest? And the national interest there is, can the Supreme Court now look at it to find out whether actually Mr. Tinubu forged that certificate? Because the issue, because the narrative today by Tinubu supporters is that he attended, that the school has confirmed that he attended Chicago State University. That's not the law. The law is, did you permit or present forged certificate to INEC?
All right.
That's the law.
So as we close now, so the intention is that if you bring that matter up, it might be able to cause Mr. Tinubu to lose at the Supreme Court, making Mr. Atiku Abubakar benefit and be the next president. Is that the plan?
Even before the Supreme Court. Even before the Supreme Court. So our law, which is the 19th Constitution as amended, says once you present a false certificate, you are not qualified to run. Today, it has been proven beyond reasonable doubt that Tinubu submitted, that Tinubu submitted forged certificates to INEC. What we expect Tinubu to do at the moment, like what President Olusegun Obasanjo told Yaradua, please take the path of honor.
All right.
And this path of honor is for Tinubu to vacate that seat and hand over to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who came second in that election.
All right. Thank you so much indeed. All of these will have to be argued before the very honorable judges or the justices of the Supreme Court. When that case, these are issues that are being brought to the bear. They are just facts without legs until they get into the court, and they need to be adduced as evidence. Thank you so much indeed, Mr. Kalu, who is a lawyer, and hopefully we'll
So there you have what is effectively a bombshell, to be honest. I don't know how else to word it. Now, like I said, there might be a way whereby it is set aside on a technicality. In Nigeria, I'm afraid to say anything is possible. But you listening to the evidence that they provided, what do you think? I don't know. What do you think? I'm not trying to, I'm just saying this is what is on the news. It is not something that we can avoid. It's being carried by channels, and we're all discussing it. And there's no point trying to walk away from this or pretend this is not happening. This is really happening. And if the foundation for our democracy is based on something that can be deemed to be looked at as a forgery and things, what does that say about our democracy? Are we really a democracy? Again, it goes back to what I said before about the fact that that constitution was imposed on us. We have no referendum. It delayed what they've said here, if true, it delegitimizes anything to do with Nigerian democracy, in my point of view, because it means that there is no law, no rule of law is in place. Anyway, what are your thoughts on it? How do you see it? Let's have your comments. You are, of course, watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We would like you to do something for us, which is this. Go ahead, subscribe to Citizen AY, hit notification button, give us thumbs up, and help us reach more people. Please, the more you give us the thumbs up, the more the algorithm will grow and reach more people. All we're saying here, please, one of the things I would like you all to do on this platform, please, you don't need to resort to any abuse or anything. We are only having discussions about the fate or the future and the future of the coming generation. And all we are saying is just looking at the merits of the case and to see if, in fact, rule of law and adherence to the Constitution is really taking place in Nigeria. You be the judge of that. We're just going to just put the information before you, and we want you to be able to make an informed decision either way. And I don't happen to think, for some reason, I think we can expect the courts in Nigeria to set some things aside based on technicality. That may well happen. To be honest, anything can happen. Anything. And one of the reasons why we say this, what we're saying now, is that even in this day and age, for us to be depending in 2023 on foreign processed oil, that is actually our crude oil that is taken out of the country, bought on the cheap by a country that is 10% the size of Nigeria, South Korea, and then they sell to us at high price, where our people cannot afford to buy the oil. It's difficult to sort of prefer allegiance to such a nation that is preventing its own people from benefiting directly from its own mineral resources by way of cheap oil, by way of exporting, actually processing oil and competing in the open market. The competition now, we are competing with others who are producing the oil, buying our own oil, and we are competing to buy the oil, and the prices are going higher. This doesn't make economic sense. And the foundation for that is what you just seen in the broadcast today. So it's nothing to do with calling names or being angry. We are looking at the facts of the matter, and we are trying to really get us to really think about this in a very, very deep way. Now, again, with all of this, as ever, I've stated this and I'm going to state it again. I need us all to really look at this in the cold light of day and understand that we are sovereigns, and I will continue to say it. Section 14.2a, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That's you and I. We have the power to hold them to account. We have the power to even intervene in this court case and say, okay, this is what the court says. This is our law. We are the sovereigns. This is what we want to happen collectively. We want those that are adherence to the Constitution of Nigeria. And if it doesn't, it tells us that Nigeria is not working. We want to insert a clause for referendum so that everybody can go their separate way. We can't do that, but we will not be able to do that unless we know what is within that law, which is why I'm reading this to you. Section 14.2a, one more time. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. And then 14.2c, the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. What is more important, we need this document to be translated into our local languages. I'm working on something, and I'll be showing some the work we've done so far up to date, so far in that along that line. But what I really want us all to really begin to do is to begin to hold our governors to account. And we need, for us, our people don't need to be speaking English before they know their rights. They need to know their rights in their local languages. Let me say that again. Our people don't need to speak English before they know their rights. They need to know their rights in their local language, because it is their constitutional right. So what do I mean by that, and how can we effect that? Well, let me show you briefly. In Yoruba, I translated this to Yoruba, and you will get the opportunity to now hear me read it in Yoruba, and of course to share. the information as and when you get it. So this is a translation of section 14.2a and 14.2c, as you saw earlier on from English into Yoruba language. We need to be ensuring that when we are holding events, we are speaking in our local languages and we are translating it into French and English for those who may wish to. In Nigeria, we must be speaking our local languages. And I know that we have to work out and fine-tune that process. We've not been done before, but it is doable. The French use French when they are going to talk in France, and the English use English. The Germans use German. So we need to begin to use our local languages, and we must. That way, our people in the communities can relate to who they see in the office as a politician. Oh, I can be a politician. Oh, I can be a doctor. I can be all of this stuff, because they are hearing it in our language, and they are not removed from the process by doing so. So let's read in English, in Yoruba. The same documentation 14.2a and 14.2c. So 14.2a, nípa báyìí ó ti kéde pé ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tíjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè ìgbà gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So that's a translation of section 14.2a. And now the participation part of it is what is essential. And that's why we are very, very strong in insisting that the constitution is translated in our local languages with immediate effect. And it states, ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin orílẹ̀-èdè, which means that the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. So the reason why, I hope you can now see why it's so important for our people to be able to know these powers in their local languages, from market women, farmers, for organizers, booker owners, security men, or they, as we call them, and so many other people, and the youth. And I want to say we start encouraging and teaching our children about these powers in their local languages from the age of 4. If you are on Sundays, you are taken to school from the age of 4 to learn about the Bible, and an age of 4 again to learn about Quran, Kewu houses. So we can we are capable to be able to learn this and this 14.2 and 14.2c of the Nigerian Constitution in our language, and we stand by that. And this is where we need to really encourage each other. So please, when you get this podcast, please do share it. You are of course watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Don't forget, go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification button, and of course, give us a thumbs up. The thumbs up will mean that the algorithms will share it and make it reach more and more people. We're about very important information, such as I'm showing you right now. So I want to thank you all. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up. Help us reach more and more people. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to the power. Thank you so very much for watching. Let us hear your views. Leave comment, share, like, subscribe, and let this platform grow. We thank those of you that have subscribed thus far. Continue to share it to family and friends. Let us reach more and more people. Our immediate target is to get to 3,000 subscribers, and I'm sure with your support and commitment to this, what we're trying to do to raise the level of awareness in our communities using our local languages, we can achieve that more subscriptions. So please, when you get the broadcast, share. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Just one thing I'd like to add. The song says, how long will I go to suffer? It is through our active participation in our governance, particularly in local languages, will we be able to change the future to a bright future for the coming generation. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you and bye for now.